Alright, welcome to a Borderlands tutorial. In this one, there is going to be a boss fight, so if you don't want to see this boss, if you haven't beat the game, do not watch this. You can see I'm on Mayhem 3, playthrough 2. You can see my buffs, so you know how this build works. I'm going to be showing you my build for Zane, my one-man army build, and it works pretty well. It's good at clearing ads, it's good at soloing bosses, it's great. The only negative to playing Zane for the most part is if you get a super bad debuff, like you lose just gun damage in general, elemental damage, whatever, it ruins it. So here's my weapons. Feel free to pause this at any moment. The Crossroads, that's my fire elemental weapon I'll be using. The Itchy Flacker with radiation, that's what I'll be using as my radiation gun. That's pretty much the biggest thing I use on bosses. You're going to need the Transformer Shield, which converts electricity into shield capacity. And then I also have this rocket launcher, just some Vladoff shock rocket to fire rockets as fast as possible to heal myself. Have some class mod, not important. This is pretty important. I know I didn't show it off very long, but it's very important because it converts all of my health into shields, so it makes me nothing but shields. So I can always continuously heal myself, and I don't need a healer. I also have the Duck or the Duke. That's my normal damage weapon. Works great on ads. Here are my skills. Feel free to pause it at any time. I went down the red tree and the blue tree, and as you can see, the class mod doesn't affect both of those trees. It also affects the green tree, which I can't really affect. I'm trying to get a new class mod to make this build work better. But I do have the barrier and the digiclone equipped. And yeah, so we're fighting against this boss. Once again, if you don't want spoilers, get off the screen. Alright, so we're fighting Troy Calypso. It's pretty easy to do this, so if you guys haven't used the barrier, whenever I first started, I ran the digiclone and the drone. That kind of rhymed, so I thought it worked. Thought that's how things worked. It's not. So the barrier actually gives you gun damage for shooting through it, so it's pretty great as far as that goes. So you lay it in front of you in the digiclone and you guys can do tons of damage. It works great on the one of the other bosses that you fight in this game. I won't mention that boss's name primarily because I don't remember it, but it's the one from Eden 6, the big boss that you fight from Eden 6. This build works fantastic. And even the Duke, or the Duck, is fantastic on that boss. And as you can see here, I'm using this gun to clear out those things so I can end the in-between stage pretty fast. Another thing is, with the digiclone, I am using my fire weapon with the digiclone because the flacker has a certain range. You see I'm saying a certain amount of distance from Troy here. And that's because the flacker has a certain range. As you can see right there, it explodes, X amount of feet in front of you, and then it kind of continues back. So your digiclone can't move, so do not, pop your digiclone with that weapon. I switch to my Crossroads or to the Duck or the Duke, whichever. And I use that and then pop my digiclone so he can actually hit stuff. Because it's pretty hard to get a weapon that the digiclone can use. A gun that I've found to be kind of entertaining since making this is the Dictator. I've yet to find an elemental one, but if you guys have that, I definitely recommend using that weapon, whether it be corrosive or fire or whatever. So in this run, I think I had 25% weapon damage and negative 33% action skill damage. I think that sounds about right. But in the next one, I'm going to have just baseline stats where everything kind of evens out to show you guys that this really isn't that difficult. So I've probably defeated this boss 10 times myself, and it's really not that hard. Right there, I wasn't paying attention to those giant cluster balls that fall from the sky. A pretty easy way to dodge those is the shield. If you have the shield on and one of them hits you in the face, it does no damage. You can also hide in the shadows of the vault symbol to avoid those, and that was just my mistake there. I've failed this boss maybe once, and that was with a 70% elemental reduction and a 25% weapon damage reduction, and then of course it was added to my action skills. but this character is all about gun damage, so it's important that you get good rolls on those, because if you don't, you might just end up getting something pretty bad. So here's my skill, not my skill tree, my guardian rank. So if you guys want to see what I'm doing there, feel free to pause the screen. I do have the cooldown rate one on the hunter tree, so that's helping me out a good bit on getting those action skills back pretty fast. Here again, I'm going to show you guys everything. And as you can see, I have no augments on the barrier there, and that is because the barrier, I can't get a augment on because I can't go down that tree because I need the blue tree. The blue tree is important to my damage. Alright, so now we're going to be starting the next fight. Actually, if you look at my inventory, you can see all the Oculus that's 100% guaranteed drop. So here we go. We have it again. I couldn't even read what the thing said, but I think it's evened out. So there's no real buff that's going to be helping us here. This boss is pretty easy for me at this point. The first time I fought it, it was not this easy using the drone. So yeah. The flacker is the most important weapon of this build. I think I've said that already, but this weapon is just great, and with the Zane build, it works perfectly. So as you can see there, I healed myself. A rocket launcher that does shock damage is pretty important for this build, because Zane isn't made to be a bulky character like Amara. So this artifact on Amara wouldn't really work. So if you get a high shield capacity shield, or one that's at least good, like the Transformer, it works out great because you can just constantly heal yourself. You don't need a healer in your game. And as far as getting yourself back up, Zane is capable of doing that with his Digiclone. Make sure you have that augment. That augment is super important. I believe there's actually a class mod that gives you that augment just automatically. So with that being said, it's a fantastic build that I'm loving to use. It's the one-man army, or the solo Zane build. I know there are tons of videos out there. There weren't that many the first few days, but after days of playing with this and listening to, I believe the YouTuber's name is Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. He made a video talking about how Zane was pretty hard to build a build for, so I set out at that point to try and figure one out, because there weren't really any videos on it. So it took me quite a while. Also been pretty busy, but this was the outcome, and it works out pretty good. I've been able to solo all the slaughter domes on at least Mayhem 2. I don't think I had them on Mayhem 3 the whole time, or all of them on Mayhem 3, and that's because I was just trying to clear them out pretty fast. But I know that the one that you fight the Malawang guys, I had that one on Mayhem 3, and it was fairly difficult to say the least, and that's the one with the actual boss fights. So yeah, it's a great build. Whenever you're fighting bosses, though, the flacker is where it becomes most important, but the duck, or the duke, whichever you call it, that gun is very important for fighting just normal enemies. So I love using that gun. I also use the crossroads to fight normal enemies with flesh. I have a corrosive version of this that I use to fight armored enemies. I don't really use electric damage. I just focus with the duck or the duke to clear those out. It's a pretty great build. I'm enjoying it. I don't think I'm gonna respec again. When they raise the level cap, I would love to see what else can be done, because I would love to actually fully unlock the blue tree, maybe go down some of the green tree to actually unlock some augments. That would be pretty nice. You can see there I tried to slide and completely failed. But yeah, I'm enjoying this build. Being able to heal is pretty nice. I remember playing Borderlands 1, Roland would have to shoot you to heal, and then Borderlands 2, it was I believe Maya was the healer. She used her ability to kind of res people, and damage that she did while in phase lock, I believe, healed teammates. But with this Zane build, you can pretty much self-heal with the Transformer. I guess that's always been possible with something like that, but I think that the shield works great running a solo character trying to solo some bosses. So I haven't tried to solo the final boss of this game, just because that boss fight is incredibly not fun for me. So I'm probably going to try and do that pretty soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it helped you build a Zane. If you did enjoy, be sure to like the video and share it so other people can have a one-man army Zane, or two-man army because of the Digiclone. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. Hope it helped you build your character. Hope it helped you slay some bosses and get some pretty cool loot. I've been getting some pretty trash loot, just like the Oculus. But here you go. Here's the buffs, debuffs again. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like it, share it, comment, let me know some stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.